Alright, everybody, what's up? It's time to talk about Fairy Tail Chapter 447.
What? My boy Laxus has returned.
Oh my gosh.
The prodigal son has returned.
Why is it
Or in
that
this
every
case,
time he returns, it's like even more badass than the last time we saw him?
because that's his character.
Yeah.
See, Laxus began as just the douchebag, but then ever since he got bad, he was kicked out of the guild. His character went from being the douchebag to the hello, my name is Mr. Badass entrance.
Yep. Basically.
So
By the way, that cover page, though, like, it's a little messed up. Just saying.
whatever.
I mean, Elfman's, like, literally grabbing her sister's ass, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
There's a lot of weird shit in Fairy Tail.
True.
But anyway,
Yeah.
my word. Just as we predicted, that was not Natsu's punch was not a one shot.
Of course.
So the guy gets back up and basically just relishes almost gets a thrill out of the idea of getting being hit with Natsu's punch.
Yep.
And then he freaking goes all Gara on us and tries to bury everyone in the sand.
Yeah.
But Makarov comes to save the day with his gum fruit.
Uh-huh.
Stretches out his arms to grab everybody.
Yep.
And just when he thinks, oh, I'm gonna save the day as the old guy, because remember this is anime and old people are super OP.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. The friggin' Ajil pulls out this massive tsunami of sand that pretty much is gonna go all crocodile on them and dry them up like mummies.
Yep. Unfortunately for him, Thor comes into play.
Thor ain't got no shit on Loxus.
No, Thor.
Bliss. He's friggin' Thoron. Friggin' just uses a regular thunder spell and friggin' obliterates the tsunami of sand.
Yep. 100 million volts. Thor.
Yeah. And somehow Blue Pegasus came up with modified the what was it, the friggin' flying ship, whatever the hell it's called, to apparently accommodate Dragon Slayers so they don't get sick.
How that works?
We'll probably find out in the next chapter.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not going to question it.
Whatever. I'm not going to really care because,
yeah.
It just gives a way for them to travel without having to throw in the stupid quote-unquote comedic relief of the stupid friggin' Dragon Slayer sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And then Mest is able to transport everyone onto the ship before Loxus launches a massive attack that probably would have annihilated Ajil, but he was saved by his ally who used a barrier to block it.
Right.
So, possible opponent for Loxus? Who knows?
Maybe. But that was some shit right there. I was like thoroughly and pleasantly surprised to see just how powerful Loxus showed himself to be this quickly. It was like, wow.
Now the biggest question that everybody has to takes away from this is, who the hell is the master going to be?
Right.
Because Urza had the temporary was the obvious temporary mastership, so that way the guild could reform. But then people are like, well, since Makarov came back alive, does that mean he's going to take over once again? Possibly, because, Mashima just wants to screw with us.
Yeah.
Or because Loxus is just so badass, Makarov's like, and Urza are like, we are not worthy. We are not worthy. You must be master.
Yeah. Here's my personal opinion on this, is that just based on the text of this chapter, Makarov's going to stay as the guildmaster until the very end, where he's going to say, like, I'm going to see this through to the end, and then after this is over, I'm giving the guild to Laxus. That's what I think.
It could be many things. I mean, who knows?
Hmm.
It could be just something unexpected,
Yeah.
which in case of Fairy Tail would probably end up being totally expected. But
Yeah.
anyway, but Laxus is just a beast,
Uh-huh.
and the friggin' Thunder Legion, makes their makes their joke, saying, "Hey, Wendy, you look like you've gotten bigger." No, I haven't changed at all. And then
Hmm.
when I'm like, yeah, you should have changed. I don't care if you're fan service for the people who are into the Lolitas. It's just against biology that you didn't even grow. Like, if you want to keep the smaller cup size, that's fine. But come on, you're not even gonna let it grow a couple of inches.
Yeah. Guess not.
Really? Anyway. And so they have their whole touching moment of, oh, we're all back together, officially back together.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm guessing that the next chapter might be them going back to the guild to make preparations for, a full scale assault,
Yeah, something like that.
possibly with the help of another guild, maybe. Who knows? Probably not, because it's Fairy Tail.
Mm.
And maybe just as they're arriving, they're the I don't know. What would you say is the most random chess piece?
Most random chess piece?
And what I mean by that is like the one that moves most sporadically.
A knight.
All right. Well, then when they arrive back to the guild, the Fairy Tale's knight will show up just as they begin to plan their full scale assault. And just in case you couldn't figure it out already, I'm talking about Guildarts.
Yeah.
I am saying it now. Guildarts is going to return very soon to help out with this fight against Alvarez.
Hmm.
Or Alvarez, or whatever freaking translation you like to read from.
Right.
So, because, I mean, he could also pull a like Loxus did, and show up during a critical point and to fight, but I would. It would be more meaningful if he, especially since this is a big, oh, this is the reunion of Fairy Tail, if he showed up before the fight and joined them, because technically we've never seen Guildarts go all out, and I feel like, okay, I don't want to see him just show up out of nowhere to go all out. I mean, I think there would be much better build up with whoever he fights if he actually is with them from the get go.
Right.
So now, let's see. Is there anything else? I mean, that pretty much covers everything. I mean, it was just a bunch of action. Not much new knowledge was learned, except that the one guy uses barriers.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some funny moments of, Juvia trying to speak on the loudspeaker to get a hold of Gray.
Hmm.
Gray was probably embarrassed.
Yeah,
Only,
he's cool.
only, yeah. Remember, over the chapters, he's getting slightly less and less embarrassed by it, until at some point she friggin'. I mean, I would have thought that they would have become an official couple after everything they went through in the Tartarus arc, but no, apparently that wasn't enough of a emotional impact in order to help to change him, to change
Nope.
his opinion of her. No, that wasn't enough. Saving my daddy from eternal servitude to demons wasn't enough. No, 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 no. You got to do something else for me. Possibly a possible sacrifice in the battle against End, maybe?
Hmm. Where she dies? Oh, that would be great.
No. No. It's Fairy Tail. She wouldn't die.
I know.
She would just take a major hit for him, and he'd go all friggin' Demon Slayers Super Saiyan on him.
Oh, suddenly I realized that I loved you. Oh, where did that come from? I don't know, but but I like it. I don't know. I don't know. It's
And then
just
and
gonna
the
be
next thing, and
contrived and forced when it comes.
it's not really forced. I mean, they've been kind of it's they've been basically screaming it aloud that it's going to happen the entire series. I mean, well, first of all, Gray hasn't actually been interested in any woman that way at all, and Juvia has only been interested in Gray, so it's kind of like, well, what else?
Yeah, it's bad, but yeah, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
For fuck's sake.
but yeah, but like I said, Gray, he has no one else that and Juvia have nobody else. I mean, yeah, friggin' what's his fuck face from friggin' Lamia Scale likes Juvia, but Juvia isn't gonna turn to him, especially since Gray. Who else would Gray end up with? I mean, realistically, I mean, yes, there are certain people he might get along with, but there's nobody else that he's even come close to thinking of romantically
I mean,
in any way, shape, or
he hasn't
form.
thought of anybody romantically, not even Juvia, so
That's what I mean.
that's
I
the
mean, well,
problem.
you don't know. I'm pretty sure that the Tartarus arc laid the groundwork for him finally starting to realize his opinion, or and maybe he'll finally realize it in some friggin' in one of his battles where he for some reason his opponent forces him to relive all these moments of him and Juvia, and he finally realizes, hey, she was doing all this stuff for me. I love her. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, I'm
Oh yeah, that's friggin' the plot of Naruto, the last Naruto the movie.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a separate video on this, just laying out every single reason why I think this is just a terrible, terrible pairing. And piss off the
uh,
fans once again.
no, but yeah, in terms of fairy tale, there are a million different combinations, but there are several different combinations that have been heavily implied for a long time as the ones that are going to work out.
Hmm.
I mean, you had that whole thing where there was a brief moment in like, when people thought that maybe when Lizana came back, she was going to threaten and Natsu's relationship, but that was quickly
Yeah, she's kind of fallen to
squashed
the wayside.
as becoming not really important at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, she hasn't even, like, at least Elfman is has started to become like a threat with his transformation. Her most powerful transformation? The friggin' cat suit,
I don't know.
which doesn't even do that much. Which she's not that strong, so she's not strong enough to even do much against anybody. I mean, we all know how strong Mira is,
Yeah.
and Elfman, he proved that he could start handling himself better when he fought. And despite the fact that people don't like this, when he fought Bacchus in the Grand Magic Games,
Yeah, and then he
because of
one-shotted whatever her name was in the Tartarus arc.
uh, was she the one? Was he the one who took out the friggin' psychotic bunny demon thingy?
No, he took out the book chick, the girl who used books and shit. I think her name was Sayla
Really?
or something like that.
The book chick?
Yeah,
Wow,
remember she was
that's
fighting Mira and then he like
yeah.
crashed
That's
through?
what's because that's exactly what's happening, right? What they're still in that whole thing about how supposedly a girl tossing books at Mira is enough to keep her at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, despite despite how good Tartarus Arc was, there's a lot of things in that don't make sense. But that's fairy tale for you.
Yeah.
So, in closing, I'd have to say I very much enjoyed this chapter,
Hell yeah.
and the potential that it laid out for the rest of this, pretty much the rest of this arc.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because just by the fact that Loxus seemingly casually,
Hmm.
was able to do that to that Saiyan was perfectly used to showcase that yes, they're struggling now, but when Fairy Tail gets serious and goes all out, they'll pose a serious threat to these, Spriggan 12.
Right.
So it's not like a completely one-sided, where the good it's not going to be completely one-sided in the fact that the heroes are just going to be like, okay, we're just too OP, like the friggin' Avatar arc. But at the same time, it's not going to be like, where the villains are way too OP and then they have to pull out some BS in order to win.
Hmm.
It seems like they're going to be evenly matched, there's and you have to wait until like the final matchups where everyone gets their one-on-one fights, and it's the actual like part of the arc where where the bad guys start going down when they that's when you're going to get the good fights,
Hmm.
the ones where everyone's going to go all out,
Right.
except for Natsu, who's going to defeat his opponent and then somehow end up becoming N. I mean, who he'll face. I mean, obviously he's not going to take on Zera first because he's Natsu. He's going to take on somebody else, beat him, and try and take on Zera.
Right.
I mean, that's what happened in the friggin' Tartarus arc. Was he took on the Frogmoth, I think it was,
Yeah.
and then after defeating him, he went on to face friggin' the assistant guild master, friggin' wow, wow, his name just really just left me. Like, what the hell was that guy's name?
Uh, you're not talking about Margear, right?
Yeah, he
Oh,
faced Mark
Margear.
Gira
Yeah.
after that. Yeah, that's he hailed himself as like I think like the assistant guild master
Oh, yeah.
or something like that. But alright. So, any other thoughts from you?
No. I mean, this was pretty simple, but pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty good. Loxus was a total badass.
Yeah.